Who has Halle Berry dated? LaShawn Boyd, 1983 to 1984. Danny Wood, 1988. John Ronan, 1989 to 1991. Wesley Snipes, 1990. Eddie Murphy, 1991 to 1992. Christopher Williams, 1991 to 1992. David Justice, married, 1993 to 1997. Shamar Moore, 1996 to 1998. Eric Benet, married, 2001 to 2005. Gabriel Aubry, 2005 to 2010. Olivier Martinez, married, 2013 to 2016. Alex DeKid, 2017.
The personality characteristics in your young boy that you feel as though that you've lacked in all of your relationships as a grown woman. Halle Berry, Halle Berry. Halle, please step to the front of the congregation. I'd love to have a word with you. Parishioners, please make way for Halle. She's got to be right here for this conversation. Now, Halle, there was once a time where you were legitimately one of the world's most beautiful women. I mean, there's not a guy on this planet that would have not have taken a shot at you. But today, in present time, you now stand 3 marriages in and 3 divorces out. So one must ask, or one must question, how can you be so good at attracting men, but yet be so bad at keeping them? I am here to prove to you today that women who wear or rock feminism as a badge of honor, it inflicts, or rather infects, their speech. You can hear it weaponized through every other word. These women have the most rotten and disastrous relationships. And in your case, Halle, your belief into it has come full circle to now where you are picking up the tab. Equal rights, right? So real quick before we get into this video, I am aware that there is a subset of my audience that may not even know who Halle Berry is. Essentially, she's a world-renowned A-list actor. She's been in huge movies such as Boomerang, X-Men, Swordfish, Catwoman, and the list goes on. Actually, about 20 or so years ago, she won Best Actress for her role in Monsters Ball. The New York Post wrote an article entitled "Why Halle Berry is to Blame for Her Disastrous Love Life," where you can see a summary of all of her marriages. She was married to David Justice from 1993 to 1997. She was married to Eric Benet a few years later for another 4 years. She was married to another guy named Gabriel Aubry for about 5 years. Misspoke here. They've only dated, but they have a daughter together. Oliver Martinez, who she is now paying $8,000 a month in child support and paying a certain percentage of her overall salary to him in alimony.
Halle Berry and Olivier Martinez are officially closing their chapter together. According to court docs obtained by E! News, the couple has settled their divorce after an 8-year legal battle. The Oscar winner and the actor first split in 2015 after 2 years of marriage. They have one son, 9-year-old Maceo, who they will share legal and physical custody of, according to court docs. Halle will also pay a hefty sum in child support, $8,000 monthly, and will, quote, also pay an additional 4.3% of all income she receives above $2 million.
So one must ask, how does one of the most beautiful women in the world become married and divorced 3 times? And not even counting the amount of relationships that she's been in and out of. I wonder if her feminist mindset has anything to do with it.
Let me just say one thing to what you said. That is so true, because I have a 7-year-old son, and I have realized what my job is in raising him. You know, if we want to have a future that's different, you're right, that's where it starts. And you made me think of how many conversations I've had with him, say, since he turned 5 years old, about the differences in boys and girls. And I see how he's taught to feel like he is superior at 5.
Pay very, very, very close attention.
Then girls are. And I'm having to painfully break that down for him and really give him a new perspective. and make him challenge those thoughts and ask him to identify where that comes from and if he believes that or not, and challenge what he's just sort of subconsciously getting from somewhere. But I can tell that because we're having the conversation, he is going to grow as a deep thinker on the subject. He's going to be determined not to just accept it, because I keep challenging him all the time. Well, why is that for girls? And why is that a girl's color? And why is that less than you? Or and it makes him stop. And he has to really start thinking about it at 7 years old. And so I know that's what I, as a mother, have to continue to do. So thank you for bringing that up. Because
Holly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really feel bad for you, because it seems as though you have a very malleable mind and you grew up in a time period where feminism legitimately was at its strongest. And you were a first mover in being the first black female Oscar winning whatever. I get it. So you ran true with that marketing behind your back, but it seems as though you have implemented it so deep within your mind, and now you're infecting your son with this bullshit. The idea that a 5-year-old boy walks around feeling superior to girls is absolutely insane. Please point me to the media. Please point me to the teachings. Please point me to anything pro-boy or pro-male in mainstream media today. Don't worry, I'll wait. For you see, madam, you've taken the feminism Kool-Aid. You are so latched on to this idea that women and girls are so oppressed that you have to quell the spirit of a young boy, because you shun the idea that women and men are not equal, or that there's boys' colors or girls' colors, or that Barbies are for girls and Transformers are for boys. Through your weird woke shit, you're trying to bust through gender stereotypes to create the personality characteristics in your young boy that you feel as though that you've lacked in all of your relationships as a grown woman. Where's CPS? Who is protecting this child? This is y'all leader? This is who y'all look up to. They're putting boys in heels, and y'all see nothing wrong with this. This is legitimately the fall of humanity today. Feminizing our young boys, convincing them that they are girls. And for what? Because you think it's cute? Because you think it's funny? Through the results of your relationship trauma, it is my belief that now you hate men. And now you change your young boy to be the opposite of men. And I think that it's absolutely repugnant. I think that this is absolutely trash and disgusting. If only this boy had a male role model in the house, or someone that can stand up to you to say that this shit isn't right. Kids will be kids, I understand that. But a man has to be there to raise a boy into one. Not your woke ass, everyone is equal, breaking down that he thinks that he's better than girls at the age of 5. Bullshit that you concocted within your trauma-filled mind. And by the way, Halle Berry also has a daughter. Do you guys really think that she is squelching her daughter's estimation of the power within herself the same way that she's squelching the young boy's power within himself? Absolutely not. By the way, imagine if this was a cast of all men and they were talking about diminishing the perceived power or confidence of their 5-year-old daughters. Those panel of actors would be canceled yesterday. So why don't we hold the same energy for this bullshit in the same light? So anyway, you guys are beginning to understand the sickness of feminism, and we're just seeing it from a mother-son relationship, but undoubtedly that level in mindset inflicts how she makes decisions going into the future when it involves a significant other. And the irony of all that is that through her wealth and her success, and now that she's hit the wall and chooses much younger, less successful men because more successful men ain't gonna deal with her bullshit, is that now through her feminismized mind, she is now taking on alimony and child support for a man and her child, which is typically a role that a man does. Welcome to equality.
And they've got money now. Yeah, they've got money. They don't have as much financial insecurity. Although I have to tell you that, it's the last remaining feminist taboo. I got a lot of women paying alimony these days. I mean, women marry the handsome musician who's not successful, or the artist, there's a lot, it hasn't been, there's been a significant effort in our culture in the last decade, if anyone didn't notice, to improve the situation of women. If you have an equally qualified man and an equally qualified woman, the woman's the diversity hire, the man's not. So I have a lot of women who when they get told oh yeah, no, you gotta give him half your shit. Or, oh no, you gotta pay alimony because he makes 50 grand a year and you make 250. And they're like, they could be the staunchest feminist in the world, and when you tell them they got to pay alimony, they're like, whoa, he's a man.
Right.
He's got a strong back. He can get out there and work. and then suddenly the whole gender is a construct and there's no such thing.
Out the window.
That goes right out the window when you get told you got to pay alimony. That's nope, no. I believe in strict gender roles. Men should pay alimony. Women, even if you earn 10 times, you should not have to pay alimony. I've had very, very staunchly feminist clients who changed their mind about how feminist they were when they got told that they were going to have to pay alimony.
It just reminds me that a lot of this feminism shit is weaponized against men only when it benefits them. When it doesn't benefit them, when there's something to build, when there's a dirty job to have, when there's a war to fight, then they quickly change their tune.
But I do have a lot of men who won't take alimony even though they're entitled to it. Because there's just some feeling of yeah, no, I'm not doing that. It's emasculating. If she tells people that we know that I took alimony from her, people will think I'm less than a man. So again, it's all gender stuff. It's still out there. It's still part of the zeitgeist. We're still trying to figure it all out.
And that divorce lawyer is incredibly correct. Just take a look at the irony of this statement from Safaree, who, by the way, we only know from Nicki Minaj. A man getting child support is crazy. He might as well put on a dress. And listen, a brother is entitled to his own opinion. I just find it so uniquely ironic that you emasculate this man for getting child support. Meanwhile, the majority of your income in your bank account right now was from being put on by a woman. So anyway, back to you, Halle, and thank you so much for waiting up here at the front of the congregation. I know I digressed for a little bit. But anyway, from a relationship perspective, I don't know what's in store for you. Apparently, you are now dating a musician by the name of Van Hunt, and I wish you well on your journey, but I can't help to think that a masculine man, a man that is a leader, a man that wants to lead you to the promised land and back will never be form fit within your life. I think that a man that will tolerate you putting heels on a young boy, he's a lot more feminized in his nature. He puts you as well as your irrational thoughts up on a pedestal. He's okay with being slightly shamed or emasculated just for being a man. That type of guy right there, you could probably have a field day all over that, and you can continue to be happy into the future. But for the majority of men that watch channels just like this, if you see personality traits from a Halle Berry, and again, I do not care how beautiful that the woman is, run away. Because the relationship is always going to be a battlefield. See, her mind was manipulated to have an inbred hate for men. And it's so sad and disappointing to see. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, if you want to support me as a content creator, go to mtarmy.com. Link to it down in the description box down below. Or go up to my Patreon, www.patreon.com/MTandR. Support the content creators that support you. All right? It's so interesting how feminists believe in this equality of the sexes. So they go out into life and believe things such as the more utility that you create or the more useful or the more money that you have is going to equate to better dating or relationship options. See, that's true for men, but feminism convinces women that essentially they are equal to men. What happens is that these women hit the wall, and you can be the most beautiful woman in the damn world and realize that success means nothing in mate selection. So as you get older, you find yourself dating less successful men. Until next time, YouTube.